Hey guys, it is Mike with the Come the Night. Very sorry I'm wearing like a bandana and look like hell and shit. I just got done working out and I was kind of struck by a moment of inspiration, so I wanted to get this documented before I lost it. As I've said a number of times, I'm doing paid critiques for albums and for songs and for stuff like that, all via email. This is not for me to promote your stuff on my videos. This is for me to give you honest feedback and for me to give you a, for lack of a better term, a professional listening and a professional critique of what your songs are. Places I think you did great, places I think you need improvement. I have had some awesome stuff sent over to me and stuff that I was really impressed by. Other stuff has been like, there's a lot of room for improvement here, but there's actually some really great foundation here as well. And then there's been some stuff where I feel bad having to type back to them. And it makes me think back to my album, the album that I've already released and the album that I'm going to be releasing. The album that I've already released, I have on purpose not told you guys about or sent out links or put links anywhere because I'm saving it for a special moment. It was my first attempt at doing an album, and let's just put it this way, it wasn't great. It wasn't the most terrible thing ever, although there were certainly some very cringy moments. But all in all, it wasn't the worst album, it just wasn't very good. It wasn't going anywhere. I don't remember exactly when that realization was, because when I first got it recorded and released and everything, I was extraordinarily proud of it. I wouldn't have necessarily put it on the level of my greats or anything, but for anything else I had done at that time, I was super proud of it. And now in hindsight, I can pick it to pieces about things I would have done differently, things I would have changed, very much in the same vein of the albums and songs that I've been critiquing. You know, there's always, no matter who you are, there's always this writer's regret, I guess you could call it, of, you've worked really hard on something and you're like, this is it, this is badass, this is gonna change the world, and you release it and no very strong reaction. Or say there even is a pretty strong reaction from those around you or anyone who listens to it. There's still that piece of your mind that you know where the mess ups are, and you're like, man, if only I could go back. Now, I believe that the critiques that I give on people's work is valuable because it helps them see where some of their shortcomings are. And in certain instances, they actually know where they already are, and they just need someone to confirm it. When you're the only one working on it, when you're the only one in charge, it's very difficult to say for sure, this is the right decision, we're gonna go this direction. I'm having that trouble right now just by doing my YouTube channel. It's like, what should I be spending my time on? Where should I prioritize? It's very difficult. And as an artist, it's so easy to get into your own head and overthink things. The service I provide is kind of a way of being like, let someone else overthink it for you with no strings attached to them, because if they rip it apart or praise it, there's no personal gain or personal loss. That type of insight is extremely valuable. Here's the thing though. The type of insight I provide basically is ensured to make writers regret. I don't necessarily think that's a terrible thing, but obviously the insight that I would provide would be better done, pre-production or almost at the end of post-production. Sadly, there's no viable way for me to do that for all of you in any realistic fashion, but I still think that the service that I provide is a valuable one regardless. You can take it, you can learn from it, you can build upon further when you make your next round of art. Writer's regret is very painful. Very, very painful. Once you have a track released, there's no taking it back. It's out there forever. And I guess the reason why I wanted to make this video was because I wanted to get your guys' feedback on it, especially for those of you that actually do make and write and release your own music. Like, it's so painful because especially years after you've released something, all the things you did wrong and you should have known better. How do you deal with something like that? how do you come to grips with it? I guess you just accept it at the end of the day. Like, that's one of the reasons why I've had these songs incomplete for so long on purpose, because I didn't want to make the same mistake twice. Yes, regardless, they probably or almost definitely would have been an improvement on the stuff that I had made previously, but it still wouldn't have really met my standards that I wanted to strive for. By having this YouTube channel, making this YouTube channel, I've been learning so much, both from you guys and both from trial and error, of what works and what doesn't. And I can honestly say now, especially now that I have the time to focus on it as well, I'm ready to finish this damn record. I think the only thing that may hold me back longer than I wish to is finding a good vocalist. That and also deciding whether or not to do keys on it. I think I really do want keys on the album, but sorry, we're getting too far out, my apologies. So in that sense, having that writer's regret, I think, was actually super positive. If I didn't have that regret, if I didn't have that part of me nagging to wish to go back in time, smack myself in the face a bunch of times and be like, no, you need to do this, I wouldn't have taken this much time and been this patient with my craft to make sure that it's going to be really good. Do I expect my next album to be a home run? No, I don't. But I expect it to be several tiers above the last thing that I put out. If you're already an established name, if you're already doing kick-ass stuff, or if you're just that talented, maybe you don't worry about it as much. I know for me, which I'm not that naturally talented, I definitely have some natural talent, I'm not that naturally talented, no prodigy. It did take time for me to cultivate my skills, and it took fucking up that album in certain places for me to wake up and be like, we don't want to do this again. I want to be taken seriously. And the only way for other people to take me seriously is for me to take myself seriously. And I think that writer's regret was instrumental in me being able to further hone my craft. Chances are the song that's playing in the background right now is a song that I am currently working on, if I had to guess. And if I know exactly which one it is, which I'm pretty sure I will, it hasn't been worked on in many years and was recorded a very long time ago. It also most likely has vocals on it, and that vocalist will not be joining us, sadly, even though I wanted him to so fucking badly. He was like exactly the vocalist I was looking for. And I haven't released that song yet for everyone to listen to publicly because it's not fucking finished. Because I know I can do better. It's good enough to act as background music for this freaking quick video I'm gonna be throwing up here. It's not good enough, in my opinion, yet to be on an album for people to listen to and enjoy. I think that gets most of my thoughts out. Again, I would love to know your guys' thoughts on writer's regret. It's something that I think is inevitable, and like I said, this part of the service that I provide is to kind of make sure you have writer's regret, which is awful in a certain sense. But at the same point, it almost makes you that much more refined and fire. It makes you that much more aware of your shortcomings so you can fucking conquer them next time. And I think that that's extremely valuable. I don't know. I'm sure I said that multiple times. I'm sorry. As always, I greatly appreciate you guys. The video on Melody will be up Thursday. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Rock on.